This is He Said, She Said, brought to you by the Urban Breakdown Podcast.
Number one, baby.
Mercedes, let's go. He said, she said, what did they say? He said, she said, what did they say? He said, she said, what did they say? He said, she said, check out what they say. What did he say? What did he say? What did she say? What did she say? What did he say? What did he say? What did she say? What did she say? Hey.
And welcome to another episode of He Said, She Said. Today's topics is around the concept of rearing or raising someone else's child. You know, the concept of stepchildren. Mercedes, introduction, please.
Absolutely. So today we're going to speak on being a step-parent, or the intake of being a parent, knowing that your children will be raised by or reared by another household, other stepchildren. We have Miss Sade Hardy on the line, and we have my homie DM Gibson as guests today. So, Blue, what's your...
For myself, raising a stepchild is basically helping or assisting with raising the child of your significant other, whether it's your girlfriend or your wife. For the most part, I think it's a beautiful thing if it can happen. Communication is a must. If the other person's partner is still involved, a former partner, children's father is still involved, I think that complicates it so much. I've been in a situation on both sides of the fence, and sometimes it worked out, sometimes it didn't. If I don't have no children with the person, then it gets complicated. If I have a child with the person, it gets complicated. I think most of all, it just really goes down to communication. But let me hear somebody else's perspective before I go into some tirades.
Okay. As far as it's for me, of course, I've been, divorced for a while now, and it's me and my 5 children. My ex, he is in a new relationship, and she also has children. And he's around her kids, and my kids are around her on the weekends. And quite often, even at other times during the month, they're around each other. My thing when it comes down to a step-parent, also growing up having a stepmother, is be respectful to my children and the upbringing and the communication between me and their dad. I don't like the idea of being interrupted on a topic when, let's say if me and baby daddy got something to talk about, I'd prefer that person's input, unless it's actually, I'm gonna benefit from it, not really be input. Don't interrupt what we got going on as co-parents. Just respect our space and also respect my children. Don't harm my children. Don't do anything to my children that I wouldn't do, and we'll be in a good place. I'm not asking for much. I'm not on some nigga, you bet not have no females around my kids. I'm not gonna do that, because that's unrealistic. And I know there are women out there that are like that. Like, if you're not with me, you don't get to see our children, because I don't want my kids around that broad. You know what I'm saying? I'm not all for that. In fact, if anything, when we all get in a better place, instead of me ripping and running all the time, you go pick them all up from soccer practice, baby girl. Help out. We all co-parenting together. We're going to sit here and we're going to do this as a family. That's my outlook. Now, I myself am not a step-parent yet. If it gets to that point, whenever I get into a relationship and I know, get to know that person's kids, I'm going to respect them, and I'm also going to respect the boundaries that a step-parent should have for the respect between the two actual parents for these children. So that's my outlook on it. I just want respect in the situation. That's all I ask for from anybody in life, so I don't expect anything different from someone that's going to be feeding and waking up to my children every now and then. Okay, so what is from a male perspective, parenting, and I know the male ego may be a little bit different when it comes down to a man raising your kids in a household. What is your take on that?
See, here's the thing. The difference between me and everybody that's on this conversation is I don't have any kids. But I have dated. Every female I've dated has had multiple children. And for some reason, it seems to be the thing, I hate to say it, but it seems to be the thing these days where females will get with a male who's really not about shit, or maybe she wasn't about shit at that time and the relationship didn't work out, but now she's a single mother and she's basically looking for somebody to fulfill that role of father, in her children's lives. Some men fit, some men don't. But me having, multiple experiences with that, I myself am a little bit more, as far as disciplining them, I will guide them mentally, I'll nourish them mentally, but on a physical level, I'm hesitant to do anything to a child that's not mine, even if I was married to her. You know what I'm saying? So much can go wrong with that. But mentally, I feel like it's my responsibility to assist and help in the upbringing of them children, because even if I'm not going to be with her, that child can still take the knowledge that I've given to them and apply it to their lives later. You know what I'm saying? So I guess it goes back to that saying that it does take a village, so
yeah.
But as far as my mother, she got divorced when I was young, and stepfather was in her life 20 plus years. And, just watching how he do and how he treated her, he was like, he was basically like a father to me. But as far as disciplining, he didn't do any of that either. He was just there mentally, financial guidance, things I needed to know as far as, growing up, basically how to be a man, keep your credit score good, but as far as disciplining physically, no, he had no parts in that. And so I kind of mirror myself after that, as far as, what I mean? But like I said, then still on another perspective, me being my own person, on the other side of that, I don't feel comfortable with that, as far as the discipline aspect. But communication definitely has to be there. That's the biggest thing. Communication especially when you're dealing with step parents and children, because sometimes the kids can be vindictive. They don't want that strange person. They don't want that strange person raising them. So sometimes you'll find, I found instances where children will lie, and children will create chaos when there is none. So communication has to be there, and you really have to know your mate. Like, you guys have to be, as far as when it comes to a step parent, they have to be so in tune with each other that a step parent can almost, I'm not saying they can, but almost say, nah, my mate wouldn't do this. Let me get everybody together and get to the bottom of this before they fly off the handle. So that's my take on it.
Yeah, and I totally agree with you on that. Well, I didn't really deal with the whole vindictive thing growing up with the stepmom, but I know my mother didn't care for my stepmom, and she did not want us to, like, let me take a step back. So my mom always preached to us, love your dad no matter what, because my dad wasn't always 100%. But when it came down to the stepmama, that ain't your mama, that ain't your this, that ain't your that. Even to this day, my kids call my stepmama Nana. That's Nana. Nana's there. She's grandma like anybody else, because she's been around for almost, 20-something years, well, over 20 years. So, but, and I'll get that, that ain't your grandma or whatever. I'm not that type of person. That's Nana. That's been my stepmama. When I needed somebody, my stepmama was there. So I'm not going to mistreat her because technically she's not my, mama. That goes back to the children, like you said, causing problems where there is none. There was no reason for me to cause a problem with my stepmama, because to be honest with you, no matter what happened between my stepmama, my daddy, and my mama, at the end of the day, I was a kid. I had nothing to do with that. I was like 7 years old. So whatever happened back then, that's between y'all. I wasn't going to dislike her and cause chaos because my mama didn't like her. That was just something that I couldn't do. I'm still to this day still not like that. And over time, I was told the truth about what happened between the situation, and it wasn't right. But guess what? Yeah, I'm not going to I didn't cause an issue where there wasn't an issue, and I didn't, start to dislike her because of what I found out, because life goes on. So that's the only real instance that I had with the stepmom. The stepdad situation was a little bit different growing up, but we did have one that had been around the longest, which is my little brother's dad. Back to what you said, the rearing of the kids and not whooping them. He never whooped us or anything. He did try to sit down and talk to us sometimes, but being the best parent or father figure, he wasn't that. But he was definitely, he didn't hurt us, he didn't harm us. So that was definitely a positive. But he knew we had a dad, and of course my mom handled most of everything. So he just kind of played his part until the relationship ended. All about respect, though. So he did give.
Well, I hear a lot of things about not, physically disciplining the child. I don't have to. Well, one, we don't have to physically discipline our own children, or do we? I mean, because I know I reared my children in such a way that I've never had to put, now when they were one and they were trying to touch a hot plate or something, yeah, I might pop a hand, but I've never had to use physical discipline anyway. And I do agree with all of y'all regarding, you know, positive communication, you know, giving positive support, supporting the significant other in the rearing of that child. That's crucial. I think you have to have a mature viewpoint or perspective in order to do that. And I guess a lot of people don't seem to have that. I see a lot of young couples that have the most difficulties with these situations. I don't really see a lot of these complaints with older people or people that's more mature.
Absolutely. I feel the exact same way. Typically, it's the young people and that whole complex of I don't want nobody around my kids that these younger people have. It's definitely one of those things where it's just unnecessary crap that's, you know, not needed. It makes the situation a lot tougher. Yeah,
which might be negatively impacting the child. The child feeling like they have to choose between, or they feel like they can't be genuinely good to their father's or mother's significant other because their dad or their mom is like, no, you better not, or that's not your dad, don't respect him, you know, create chaos. I remember I had a client, he would definitely tell his son just to act a ruckus around him. I guess he was trying to break up his baby mama and her boyfriend at the time, his illness, but, you know, he might have been old, well, he was like 29, but he was really immature in that way, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, just that, you know, it wasn't his way, it was the highway. A lot of these younger people are younger when they have kids anyway, so they're not even emotionally mature enough to really raise their child in such a way, or don't understand the compounds or the confines of what a relationship is or could be or will be or should be. So focused on self being egocentric instead of focus on the whole, the family, the person, the child, you know what I'm saying? The child, like you said, the child ain't got nothing to do with none of that bullshit. That, you know, the child is to be, you know, supported and grow and give him or her the gifts that you didn't have or that you may have not have coming up, or pass on the fruits of your experience and education so that they can get through life without some of the barriers that you might have encountered. I think the caveat is that, we'll talk about that on another show, is that we might do so much in regards to that they don't even have the right tools to be able to face conflict or to face adversity and adversity in their lives because their parents did so much in regards to keeping them from that. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, and Ms. Charlotte, we're gonna get your perspective in just a minute, but I wanted to point one thing out too. We're talking about positivity. There are step parents out there that have harmed kids because they didn't like them for a certain type of reason. They didn't like the way the child looked or the way the child acted, or they just didn't like the fact that there was a kid there. There's step parents who are vindictive to the point where if the attention isn't placed where they need it because this child to them may get or, you know, interrupt their attention from the spouse, they'll harm the children. There have been step parents that have plenty of cases out there that have brought to the public where they would lock kids in closets and beat them and not feed them like they did their own that they had with the spouse and stuff like that. Now that stuff that's realistic as well. As much as, of course, we would like to point out the fact that, of course, the kids do cause the problems. There are 1,001, probably a million stories of step parents harming kids, and that's another thing. So where I get the understanding of I don't want this person around my kids, I understand where you may be concerned of your child being harmed, but also keep in mind that as your daily life continues, you can't start off that way. Now, if that person gives you reason to believe that they're harming your children, absolutely. Don't have that around my kids. You're right. And I'm going to keep my kids with me until my other half is able to put, the other half of my parents is able to put our kids in a safe situation. If you're going to, and then that's another thing. You have situations where the other person will harm the kid, and then the other parent won't leave that person. Then what? So those are all, you know, issues that definitely should be addressed just in case. But if they happen, then that's a total different ball game. It's definitely something that I never want to face because when it comes down to my kids, no matter what, I'm not the same person I am just sitting here talking to you. I will go to the end of the world for my kids. And I mean that. So if you harm my kids, you harm yourself. I'm coming for you. You're not going to hurt my babies. So that's definitely something else that most people are probably concerned about. because kids are innocent for the most part. For the most part,
well, what's your operational definition of innocent?
Exactly. They know how to act sometimes, you know. So it might pop an attitude or two every now and then. So yeah,
but sometimes they'd be like, well, you're not my mommy. And your mommy may be all on board about the step-parent situation, but this kid be like, I ain't got to listen to you. You ain't my mommy. And then that causes strife in the relationship. And then next thing you know, they breaking up. You know, I've seen that happen.
That can be fixed with an ass whooping. That can be fixed with an ass whooping. Little child is not going to interrupt the whole relationship with that type of an attitude. Now, again, if the child is going forward, like having an attitude and I ain't gonna listen to you, that's one thing. You can fix that. But being blatantly vindictive and doing like something that you would expect more from an older kid, doing downright vindictive things, then that right there might cause a deep wedge. Popping your mouth in an attitude can be fixed real fast, trust me. Real fast.
I'm glad I never had to do that.
Yeah.
You know, one of the things I've seen as far as growing up, the way I was brought up, and difference now is that knowledge has actually allowed a whole generation of forever children to be spawned. And what I mean by that is, like, if you think about in school, everybody wanted to be the popular kid. You know, well, not everybody, I didn't, but most people wanted to be the popular kid. Most people wanted to, be known and have a lot of friends. So what I was saying is it's a popularity contest, and males and females have gotten lost up in that. And they're so concerned with being popular and being liked by everybody that they're forgetting their children. And they're forgetting the things their children need. I mean, I've seen, the way I date a female or the way I court a female is, I want to meet her people. I want to meet her kids. I want to know if she's in touch with her father, her mother. I want to see what they're like. I want to see if I can actually meld and become one with her before I decide, okay, look, I like you, your pictures look nice, let's jump into bed. Because jump into bed, I might be stuck with you forever. You know what I'm saying? With a child or whatever may happen. So doing that is a lost art. It seems like very few people do it. It's from the DM to the bedroom. That's it. And then we'll sort it out as we're in a relationship. We're in a relationship. We meet Wednesday. We have sex Thursday. Friday, we're in a relationship, and we'll figure everything out as we go. And that's what right now is destroying households. The people don't want to take the time to do that, and at the same time, like I said, their children are getting lost in that. I've seen plenty of females who their household isn't taken care of, or their kids are sleeping on a mattress on the floor, but they got a $1,000 TV in the living room, or they got the PS4, or they got this Netflix and Hulu and this game system and that, and they got the Michael Kors and all that, but the kids is being lost and left out. Yeah, that's one of the biggest issues I see. And then it creates these step parents or who are hesitant not only to become fully involved with the family, but they're just like, you know what? I'm just going to let her do her thing as she's doing, and I'm just going to tend to the mother, or I'm just going to tend to the father.
Yeah.
Sure, right.
Now, and Sade, what's your perspective on this? I think it's more so, I think the parents need to introduce each other first, because that's sometimes that's when it comes down to people always, with a woman or the man say, I don't want nobody around my kids, this and that, the feel. I think more so it's an introduction where you can get the parents and get the kids to get a bigger understanding, to also let the kids know mommy and daddy are not going to be together. But this is mommy and daddy's other partner. And to me, I feel like it will make more sense and everybody can come more together versus, you better not have it, I want to know who my child is going to be around, point blank, period. I need to see how my child reacts around this person. Because I have my baby sister, it was crazy because my mom's baby daddy, he was messing with this other lady. And the other lady ended up breaking up with him. But one day, it's my mom, my sister's aunt, and the lady, they all went out, which was crazy. But one day I was keeping my sister got sick. So they had to come all the way back from wherever they came from. The lady that had broke up with my sister's dad, she called the next day to make sure that my sister was all right.
even though her dad and other lady, you know, they all didn't introduce themselves, you know, in a respectful way that I saw. But I felt like it was a lot of respect that this woman, knowing that this man, you know, whatever, that she called and checked on my sister, which I thought was, hell, that was great to me, because I felt like she cared. It wasn't just, oh, that's her dad, so I'm going to have to call. No, she cared because she's a woman that also had kids. And some people, they don't think about that. Like, an introduction means a lot. Because like Mercedes was saying, you know, you got people that are out here harming these people's kids, and it's ridiculous. Because also, they're just putting on the front with the, you know, with the kids' father or mom, just to get closer to their partner, and it don't be for real. And nowadays, you got to really be careful.
Yeah.
Because people don't care about, and people don't care about other people's kids.
No, go ahead. No, I was gonna say that goes back to the other thing too. Introducing too many people to your kids, always having somebody in your kid's face. That's another thing that single men and women gotta stop doing.
If it's gonna be a friends with benefits thing, I'm gonna need you to come at this time at night, and I'm gonna need you to leave this time in the morning, or after we done, go on about your business. My child does not have to see you. I know how to hide my child. But if you're gonna be, if you dating somebody that has kids, you're not just dating me, you're dating them too.
Yeah.
You're coming into their lives.
Yeah, it's a package deal, and most people don't take it that way
at all. But I just feel like it's more so over in you know, introducing. You know, so like my son, he has autism. I'm not going to introduce him to everybody. He's only been introduced that I felt that, I guess, at the time, something was serious to two people, two men. But anybody else that I'm there with, nope, you did not see my child.
Yeah.
You did not see my child at all. If you did see my child, it was because we was out in public, and we stopped and saw each other.
Yeah.
But I just mean, and disciplining, I agree on a certain level of what DM was saying, you know, physically, no, you don't have to, but it's going to come a point. No, I mean, well, you just don't have to discipline your child physically, you know, give them a whooping or whatever, blah, 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 which I do believe in whoopings. I don't believe in beating. There's a difference.
What's the difference?
Or like he said, you know, like telling them, you know, this is, you can't do stuff, like, you know, whatever. But
yeah, verbal disciplinary is different. Like verbally telling a child not to do something, or like correcting them. Like, let's say if it's a situation where you saw your stepkid doing something, and you know, mama at work, and look here, little boy, you know, I'm gonna check you. Or look here, little girl, don't do that. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and just sit back and just watch you be a complete idiot. It's not gonna happen. I'm gonna open my mouth regardless, because at the end of the day, I'm the adult here, and you're gonna respect me regardless of all of that other stuff. Now, there's a big difference between an ass whooping and a whooping and a beating. I mean, I can pop my child on the butt with like either grab one of them old school switches or a belt, and you know, my child is, or I can, you know, grab a 2x4. There's a big difference. I don't even whoop my kids like that. Sometimes they be deserving it, but I'm like, man, I'm a lazy parent. I'm just gonna go scream at them. I'm not gonna whoop them. I'm just like, maybe they'll hear my voice and sit down somewhere. But it's just one of those things where,
I mean, and that's where it comes with a trust thing, you know, between step parent and the parent. You know, if you feel like you gonna spaz the hell out, don't touch them. You know, pop them on the butt, go to your room, whatever. But about to kill them, no, we're gonna have a real big problem.
Yeah, I never did this one case
still not your kid, but
that dude killed his stepchild or whatever it was, because the baby peed on itself. Oh my God! Yes, the baby. It's recent. It's floating around here now. I think he's about to go to trial for it. But basically, the kid peed on himself, and he killed the kid. And I think, well, he didn't. I don't think the child was dead at the time, but he harmed it so bad that when he went to pick the mama up from work, the baby wasn't breathing right and wasn't functioning right. So yeah, that definitely happened. Definitely.
Okay. Well, anyways, you have another perspective. Miss Lowry.
Hello.
Yes, you have a perspective regarding rearing and raising stepchildren?
I kind of caught the tail end. Can you all hear me, first of all?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes.
I kind of caught the tail end of the conversation regarding punishment and discipline. So I'll touch on that, but I'm actually a step-parent. I have a stepson. He's 6 years old. So I'm coming from the perspective of actually being a step-parent. I do have a child. My husband and I do have a child we share together as well. But for me, I do believe that communication is vital, and there has to be a level of trust. I know initially when I came into the picture, my stepson was young, and so there was a little bit of conflict and kind of apprehension about who's around my son, who are you, what are you doing? So it did take some time of me communicating with his mom and just talking with her and getting to know her getting to know me to feel comfortable with having me around. When it comes to as far as like discipline, what we try to do is we try to be fair. My husband is typically the disciplinarian, but sometimes I do have to step in, but it's not, it's not about me putting my hands on him as much as it's me redirecting him. I say if there's gonna be a spanking or some kind, that's for his dad to do. I'm actually kind of the mom that everybody comes to for comfort after they get a whooping. I guess my husband is kind of the disciplinarian, and I'm the one that's kind of like, okay, that's too harsh. That's enough. I'm the softy in the mix. But we do. The thing is, we want our children to feel equal. What I don't want is because my daughter is with us full time. I don't want her to feel like she has pull over her brother, or that they're not the same when they're in a household together, because they are. We want them we treat them the same. So if he's punished for something, she's punished for the same thing, and vice versa. And one of the things my husband does is that he's an ex-military, so he's like, we don't really like to do the whoopings and the spankings as much. We have done it, but we don't. We prefer to use alternative means. Like my husband likes PT. He likes, make him exercise or something as a punishment. That's what he grew up on. So we try different means that are a little bit less intensive, and we actually talk with the kids a lot about, hey, this is why you're getting in trouble. This is what's going to happen, and so they really understand the process. I don't know if there's anything else I need to talk about, but
no, that was good. That's good.
That's my take on it. Yeah, but I do believe communication is vital, and making sure that you guys have an understanding and trust. I think with the circumstances that happen with the children being harmed, I really feel like that is an area where I don't feel like parents really know who they're with. You know what I'm saying? Like, you especially with men. Men don't know their own strength. There should be no reason why a man should be beating a child to a pulp over using the bathroom on himself. So, and a woman should be with a man who, can do something like that. Like, you have to be aware of your partner. And I think that's something that we fail to do. I think as women, we sometimes, we can get caught up in relationships and accept things from our partner and not realize how that will impact their rearing of our children. Men can be very, vocal and a little harsh with us, and we're like, okay, but if he's going to do it with you, he's going to do it with your children, and you have to be mindful of that.
Right. Thank you for sharing.
To wrap it all up or whatever, at the end of the day, it's all about respect, communication, and everybody being on the same page. If you're not on the same page, it's not going to work, because, again, back to most kids being innocent, they learn from what they see. Kids are like sponges. They absorb, and even bad behavior. I'm not sure if anyone mentioned, I don't think anyone mentioned physical abuse as not on the kids, but, parents fighting too. A child can have a perfect home at home with mama and stepdaddy, but get over to daddy's house and see daddy and stepmama fighting all the time. Those things matter too. The child is getting a confusing upbringing there. So all in all, it's about respect,
It's about put the kids first too. You got to put the kids first, and you got to remember at the end of the day, between the 4 parents, it's all about the kids. So that's my southern perspective there.
All right. Well, you know what? I got something to say, kind of off topic. It's never too late to create a new generation, and that's one of the things that I've been trying to do with my nieces and my nephew is give them the advice that I didn't get as a child. I got my nephew involved with the whole cryptocurrency thing. I think he made $1,000 last week off of his Christmas gift. Just trying to get him involved in the trading and learning that something different than Xbox and PlayStation and Snapchat, because he stays on Snapchat. So I'm like, if you can be that attentive to a phone, I'm gonna give you a reason to be attentive to a phone. My niece, she's real artsy. She's in the computer, so I bought her a computer and started teaching her some programming. So that's what she's doing. But something that they can pass on, some knowledge they can pass on, because that's what it was like. We had a whole generation of innovators and entrepreneurs, and then we had this social media generation. So we can reverse that. Right. And even with the step parents, and the parenting and step parents, we can reverse that. But it's up to us. That's my final thought.
Right. Thank you. Always a wise man's words. He charges for that, so he gets a chance for free on he said, she said. All right, and that concludes another episode of He Said, She Said with Mercedes Wright and F. Christopher Blue and our eclectic guests on this occasion. Some using code names, so we're not even going to call them out like that. All right.
Every now and then, and when I speak it's just a way for you to let me in. Tell me how can I win, baby? Give me your number, let me call you lady. You said you got a man, but I'm not feeling that. You're out here all alone, so where the hell is he at? How could he leave you lonely? You'd be my only, and we'd be falling in love. Does it make you cry? Oh, those tears should be from happiness. Just cause you're blessed, got a new love now, so complete that I say yeah. So high, I wanna be down, don't you know that what I say is true? So tell me what I gotta do to get next to you, baby. Like I need you, I can see that look in your eye every time you go by. So girl, what you gonna do the very first time that I kiss you? Do you want me like I need you? I can see that look in your eye every time you go by. So girl, what you gonna do the very first time that I kiss you? You need to let your heart be your guide. Girl, don't you hold those feelings inside. I can do better than he can. I need to be your man. Girl, don't you understand this is the perfect plan? And I'm not there hating him. It's just the way that he has been. Makes me believe you've been mistreated unbelievably over and over again. Tell me why. Make you cry. Oh, those tears should be from happiness. Cause you're blessed, got a new love now, so complete that I say yeah. So high, I wanna be down, don't you know that what I say is true? So tell me what I gotta do to get next to you.